All right, good morning or afternoon, depending on what block you have. For everyone, you should have most of your flip book put together. If you need parts of a flip book so that you can get started on yours, please talk to the substitute. The parts are up front and you can have someone in the class help you. But everyone should have a opening slide or an opening page that looks something like this. It's basically a cover page. And then move forward. You'll see the definition of point, line, plane, ray, and for first and second block, I know that you already passed this. And forgive me, I did ray and line segment out of order for third block. So if yours isn't exactly in the same order, it's fine. You'll have the same information. But for first and second blocks, please realize this is going to be just a bit of review. And to the substitute, feel free to fast forward just a little bit to where it matches up so you can save some time. But if you don't want to fast forward, just consider it a review, watch what's going on, and at that point, you should catch up at the same places and you'll have the same information. So to block 3, this is where you all are. And we need to talk about a line segment. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. That's pretty much standard issue for this class, isn't it? Let's do line segment. And like so many other things, a line segment is a set of all points, right? That's how they all start, between two endpoints. Set of all points between two endpoints. And please remember, when we're talking about the set of all endpoints, this area right here. Oh, I'm moving stuff now. I didn't mean to do that. The set of all points between two endpoints. The set of all points is going to be pearls. So we're looking at the pearls between two stopping points. So look at the example on the line as always, and we're going to talk about all of the points that are between A and C. But if you look at the string, you'll see that in between A and C is the letter B. Now for this example, B is going to be part of the segment, but it won't be part of the name. As always, your left-hand side of it is going to be the drawings, while the right-hand side of it will be the names. And in this case, the potential names for this, using symbols, would be line segment AC, because we can only use the endpoints to name it, or line segment CA. I want to point out, in this example, B is not part of the name. It's not part of the name here because it's not one of the endpoints. For a line segment, you're only going to use, and here's your 2 bullets, 2 letters, and excuse me while I put this up a little bit higher, 2 letters, and you must use endpoints. You must use the names of the endpoints. You cannot use any points in between. So you couldn't call this line segment ABC. All right, before we move on, I want to point out, first off, make sure you put your word segment or line segment down at the bottom on the tab area where it can be seen when it's closed. And also, pay attention that when you are looking at the segments, the names of the segments do not have arrows on them. You don't have arrows on both ends, and you don't have dots on both ends. All you're going to be doing is a bar over top of it in 2 letters. All right, are there any questions? If there are questions, feel free to pause the video, answer the questions among the class, and then continue. Next, once we have line segments, we need to move on to one page that's going to have 2 different words on it. We're going to see collinear and coplanar on the same page. So it will be a longer page, and make sure you put both words down at the bottom. Collinear is our first one. I need to get my pen turned on. Collinear, 2 or more points on the same line. Two or more points on the same line. So if I have points A, B, and C, they appear to be collinear. But what are the chances that I got them exactly in line? In fact, if you look, it kind of appears that B is a little bit too low. If that's the case, I need to put them on a line. I force them to be on the same line, therefore they are now truly collinear. Now, one thing that's really important, if you look around the room at any of the red letters, all the points, even though you can't see the string that would attach 2 points, for instance, pick N, which is in the front of the room and by just over the board. If you connect it to H, which is in the back of the room, by the positive attitude sign, you can't see the string that attaches them, but we know we could put a string there. So what this means is very simple. Any 2 points are collinear. It doesn't matter where they are or what's going on. Any 2 points are collinear. Next, we're going to draw a line underneath all of that, and we're going to talk about coplanar. And please make sure you get this pronunciation in your head. This is not coplanar. This is coplanar. If collinear was 2 or more points on the same line, coplanar will be 2 or more objects on the same plane. Two or more objects on the same plane. And what we're going to do is go ahead and draw a plane. And please remember, when you draw a plane, it's like taking a rectangle and leaning it over. You draw a line on top, and you draw a line on the bottom that are pretty much the same length, and then just connect top to bottom, and you'll have a plane. So in this plane, I'm going to put point A, and I'm also going to put ray G, H, and finally line segment S, T. Line segment ST. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and write down, now pay attention to the symbols because we've got a lot going on here. Point A, notice there's no dot in front of it, and I did not write the word point. Ray, GH, using the proper symbols. Of course, the arrow will always be on the right-hand side, and ST. Now, with ST, I just made a mistake. I need to get rid of that. It's just a bar. There's no arrow on either side, and you put the 2 letters underneath. So, point A, ray, GH, and line segment ST are coplanar. They are coplanar. Now, again, we're at the end of this tab. Make sure that collinear and coplanar are both written at the tab portion of your sheet at the bottom of the page so that it can be seen when the flipbook is closed. And then pause if there are questions. You can discuss them within the class. If the substitute has any idea what's going on, feel free to chime in. If not, don't worry. I will take care of them when we get back. Pause if you need to. We'll be back in a minute.